Hey there guys, Lord Frigid here, and it is the tail end of Aether season, so as I promised on my last video, it is time for another episode of Aether Raids Offense. There was actually one condition only, under which I would have put out a Aether Raids Offense video for last week, Light Season, and that was if the battles I fought were interesting. And then I deployed the Fae raiding party for every single battle for the third Light Season in a row. Not terribly interesting. Well, I should clarify. Probably not very interesting for most people. I personally enjoyed it greatly, but that's neither here nor there. This week we've got a bit of a Brave Lucina showcase actually. Brave Lucina was sitting in my barracks for quite literally years, doing absolutely nothing. And then the Gearskull refinement came out, well, along with the refinements for all the other COIL-1 heroes' weapons, but who really cares about them, right? And I thought, wow, Brave Lucina is a really great support unit now. I should build her up. So of course, she's out in my barracks for weeks and weeks and weeks, until finally I decided, okay, fine, let's do this. And I honestly, I am not disappointed at all. I'm quite happy I finally got around to doing it. I kind of wish I had the editing skills to put together a little montage of her, and it'll end in that Smash Brothers-like introductory graphic that just says, Lucina, cheers from the sidelines! Okay, yeah, that sounds really lame. Let's just get into it, shall we? Okay, so this is the first map up, and I talked a lot last video about how I think good defensive maps control space well. And this video, I kind of wanted to expand on that, and I picked a pretty easy first map to showcase this on. You can probably already tell that this map controls this space reasonably well. I mean, the units who threaten it are all physical, I guess, except for Azura's aerobatics, technically. It controls this space, not so well. And it controls this space, no, not at all. So what can you do to exploit that? Well, obviously, the most physically weak point of this map is right here. If you've got a solid player face ranged unit, you can basically just take out Ethlin and legendary Alm for free. Then, well, actually, Azura probably doesn't follow suit on the enemy phase because I'm pretty sure Quan will rally her and immediately get refreshed. But then the thing is, though, the rest of the enemies advance while Azura stays behind, so you're almost certainly going to get her on the next enemy phase. And then, I mean, what did the people who advance do? They're just going to have to break that block here and funnel through single file. That's not a very efficient way to approach it all, funneling through that cramped little space. Speaking of cramped spaces, it could be argued that this is actually a reasonably weak point as well, because it seals off what little control this team had of this space here. It frees up these three spaces to put supporting units at a nice safe 2-space distance, which makes it pretty easy if you're like stacking wards or something to tank out hits from Leif, Quan, Seliph, and Alm. And that's especially true if you can get a debuff on Azura, because Ethlin will restore that and immediately get refreshed, making it so that Leif, Quan, Seliph, and Alm are actually the only things that are going to be able to attack on that turn. And I guess what I'm saying there is, for a defense map to be threatening, it's not necessarily enough to just have a bunch of overlapping threat ranges. Ideally, you'd want to be able to extend your threat range to reach the enemy's backline, because that's where you're going to be getting most of the easy KOs. So with all that said, I guess I'll go ahead and get into my approach to this map now. I kind of did a hybrid of the two approaches I described just there. I used a ranged unit, but it wasn't a player phase ranged unit, it was an enemy phase ranged unit. I did still, however, exploit the lack of coverage that this team has in this area. Alrighty, I have a new raiding party this Aether season. I guess that's not actually that much of a surprise because I have a new raiding party just about every other Aether season because I can't decide what I want to do. But this is the Flora raiding party. Flora's job is to stand 2 spaces away from Brave Lucina and make enemy ranged units regret their life decisions. Yes? In this case, I think I just need to break this healing tower here, and then I'll see what happens with the Restore AI. Like, I know Ethlin's going to use Restore, I'm just not sure whether she'll go for Azura or Alm. If she goes for Alm, then Azura refreshes her, and then she moves away to refresh either Quan or Leif, and then Alm attacks Flora, and that, let me tell you, that does not end well for Alm at all. But if she goes for Azura first, then she goes for Alm second, I'm thinking, and then the rest of the enemies just kind of advance, which I guess wouldn't be so bad. The map is set up in such a way as to restrict their options for approaching, which is nice. But let's see what happens. Nuts. She goes for Azura first. Okay. Huh. But yeah, okay. Only Seliph and Leif advance because the others are held in place by their assists. 26 damage. 217s. Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Nana deals 2 17s, leaving Seliph with 27 HP, and then Flora hits him with a 26. That's just typical, that is. On the other hand, damage is damage, especially with Seliph and his annoying Tearfing.
Yes?
So I think I should just do it anyway and take what I can get, yeah? Yeah, let's do that. And bye-bye Vengeance, or Bonfire, or whatever that was. I actually wasn't really paying attention because I knew Nana was just going to remove it anyway. Okay, so that leaves him at 1. Actually, that means he's going to receive an Ethlin heal next turn. So Ethlin's probably going to get the refresh. Or Alm uses his assist first, so he gets it, and now he attacks Flora, and boink, bye-bye. Poor guy. And actually, that's what I see this raiding party's use case being going forward, as an excellent check to enemies with skills that prevent follow-up attacks, where they're follow-up attacks by the normal speed check, or guaranteed follow-up attacks through skills. Because Flora really doesn't care. He doesn't care about Legendary Alm's null follow-up. He doesn't care about the Seer Z-Finger. He doesn't care about generic enemy number 3's A passive with a name that ends in impact. She just jams an iceberg into their face and calls it a day. But anyway, back to the actual battle here. We're gonna get... Oh, a rally from there. Well, that forces Ethlin to attack Flora, which would be great if Azura didn't also come down and attack. That would have allowed me to save an iceberg for Ethlin. Would have been a one-shot, I'm pretty sure. As it stands, I guess it's not so bad.
What is your desire?
I should be able to have Naga take out Quan after chip damage from Nana. I just need to make sure I don't leave Nana in there because he has a Rider's Bane and he will destroy her so bad. So, let's see.
What do you need?
Yeah, she's not gonna die, so I don't want to, I don't want to take any more pain damage than I have to.
Yes?
Let's see. Yeah, this is fine. It resets specials. It gets Ethlin to use her action on a heal. That's always nice. So now I just smite her out of the way.
It will be done.
And drop Naga in front of Quan.
What is your desire?
And then, yeah, Ethlin's going to be healing, so I can actually move Flora. I don't really need to worry too much about the pain chip damage. So, let's see where we go. Here we go here. She just trapped herself in the corner. That's kind of hilarious, actually. Okay, well, Leif, you're going down. Sorry, bud. But how shall I do it? Do I finish him off with Flora or Nana? I need to get up into the upper right corner and destroy that Aether fountain.
At your service.
I'm wondering how I can best do that. I think I need to give this one to Naga. Yeah, let's do that.
It will be done.
And then I'll put in Flora right behind her. And I need the space below Flora open so I can smite her up. So I can't have Lucina immediately below Flora. I'll just have her to the left.
Your orders.
There we go. That ought to be fine. Let's see, is this trap real? I feel like it probably is. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, it's real, but now Nana can take out Ethlin, so I can freely smite and break the fountain and finish this battle right off. Woo! So this is the second map up, and it does a better job of controlling space than the first map, I would say. I don't know if I would say that's great at it, but at least it uses the concept of range extension, say. So this map has 2 goals, I think. Firstly, it uses sheer threat range, to cover a lot of occupiable space. So you can kind of see that Loki comes out to here, and with Armor March active, Flora comes out to here. So that's a decent amount of space coverage. And the goal there is to try and limit your options for a player phase style approach. I mean, I guess it does a decent job of it. However, that right side there, with all of those buildings being breakable, it's still very possible to run a hit-and-run Gale Force setup and just taking out Olivia and just running away. The map also tries to cover enemy phase style approaches by using threat range extensions. So if you try to go up and place a unit on the outside of Loki's threat range, the first thing that's going to happen here is Flora rallies her, and then Azura can use aerobatics to warp to Ophelia and refresh Flora. Now Flora's threat range is actually, it's a little larger than Loki's threat range. It extends one tile beyond, so if you've got anything adjacent to whatever unit you plopped at the edge of Loki's range, then Flora's able to attack them, and that could potentially be bad. And then the second thing that happens is if you manage to get through Flora and Loki, Ophelia moves next because she has no assist and gets immediately refreshed by Olivia and also attacks your unit. So that's the sort of threat range extension that I mean. Neither Flora nor Ophelia were initially able to attack your unit, but now with the power of refreshing they can. Similarly, if you approach up the right side, after Flora attacks you first, Ophelia immediately moves and gets refreshed by Azura and proceeds to attack your unit. So, I mean, this is actually a little less threatening than going up the left side, unless you have a dedicated range tank, in which case, well, then you just go up the left and have both refreshers burn their actions on units that are not going to be able to do anything to you anyways. One other thing to keep in mind about the enemy phase approach is that breaking the Panic Manor will extend Olivia's threat range. You can see that with the Panic Manor there, she only actually threatens up to here. But with the Panic Manor gone, she also threatens this space, which is actually detrimental in some cases. So if I put a unit here, then after Loki and Flora fight, Ophelia doesn't move next. Olivia comes down because she can attack the spot. And that's actually the approach that I used for this map. So let's go ahead and move on into that. So this map is an excellent opportunity to showcase the Keaton raiding party. You wouldn't really necessarily think it just by looking at the map, but I actually had to think about this for a little bit before determining, yes, I can actually send the Keaton raiding party in. I will not put him in range of the enemies and then suddenly realize, wait, Duma's going to get double refreshed right into his face. That would have been bad. But but I can avoid it if I get set up here and then on turn 2 I break the Panic Manor. Then I'll put Keaton 2 spaces below where it originally was, and then he'll be in range of both Olivia and Loki, which means that Olivia gets to attack him instead of refreshing Duma, because Olivia will have the chance to attack before Duma has a chance to move. Yay! Okay, so I need to get my units out of here because I'm not quite ready just yet. And then, heck, why not? I can break this Aether Fountain. Alright, turn 3 on deck here. And I believe I am safe to put Keaton in range of the enemies now. Got a buff. I'm gonna have Lucina right behind him. Yeah, this will be fine. This should be fine. I just need to determine where do I put the rest of my units.
Yes. Your orders. Yes.
Let's just play it safe. I mean, I'm pretty sure Flora's gonna rally here, but since the tactic room is down, so rally. Yep, and then a refresh. Yep. And 3 enemies? That's not so bad. Not so bad for the first turn of initiation. Now, I'm really concerned about what Doom is going to do here. Let's see, so Ophelia is probably advancing. Oh. Oh, Doom, old buddy, old pal, that was a mistake. Oh, or Keaton can't KO you. Oh, well, but he's only 2 attack per hit off. 3 attack per hit off, sorry. So Gerskogel will cover that. Okay. And now I can kind of walk around and get this Aether Foray. I don't really need to worry about Ophelia because she's not the one with Hardy Bearing. It was Duma, surprisingly enough. So poor Keaton's gonna take a 39. Ouch. But that's not so bad at all. And now I can just move Lucina up for the attack bonus and finish the job. Oh, didn't even need the attack bonus. Well, never hurts to be safe. Alright, so that concludes this video. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this latest installment of Aether Raid's offense. I will probably see you again in 2 weeks at the tail end of next Astra season, unless something miraculous happens during Light season for some reason or another. Oh, actually, one more thing. Last video, I posted a question in the comments section asking if you would be interested in seeing a 3 houses playthrough. I received mostly positive responses from the comments on that, so I think I'm probably going to go ahead and try and go through with that. I would like to have a kind of intro, get ready for it video coming out probably sometime within the next week or 2, and we will see how it goes from there. So keep an eye out for that, and I will see you next time.